Crown Collective, tap in, Crown Collective, tap in. We need to discuss some things. Okay, so if you're ready, girl, I'm ready. You know, it is so interesting how you can see someone as a friend, as a close relative, as somebody that you truly love and appreciate, and you think the world of them, only for that person to have a vicious infatuation with you. And the vicious infatuation lives in the root of jealousy, in the heart of jealousy. And the thing is, collective, is that this jealousy reaches so deep within them that they might not even recognize or realize that they have this infatuation, this romanticized vision, or idealizing you, or idolizing you, viciously, to the point where it causes this underlying tension. Tap in. So next thing you know, this person is being highly passive aggressive with you, and you don't even know why. Well, the reason is because even though you might have your trials and tribulations, you don't look or experience life in the way that somebody who would succumb to the enemy would. Tap in. You are somebody who not has taken things in stride, but has recognized that your battles make you more grateful, actually more graceful into how you approach your everyday life. These people are infatuated viciously with you because they know that in the end, after everything is said and done, you trust yourself. Tap in. Oh, I'm telling you, collective, you trust yourself. You have empathy towards yourself. You know what to do in the quiet moments. You know how to appreciate and enjoy quiet. Tap in. These people do not understand what it's like to know what you go through and then show up for your glow up. Tap in. And it's just like, it's this vicious, that word vicious keeps popping up. It's this vicious process of these people or knowing that you've had things tough for you, yet somehow, some way, you got through it unscathed, or you got through it easily. And when I see this dynamic happening between the collective and people that they know and love, it causes a concern for me, because collective, you might take the passive aggressiveness that they're showing you as them having a bad day. Tap in. Look, madness came up and knowledge came up. So this passive aggressiveness that you might be experiencing with them, you're like, oh, they're having a bad day. But in fact, it's deeper than that. It's not having a bad day. It is their underlying aggressiveness towards you being grateful, glad, sentimental to yourself, sentimental to life, like really being able to enjoy life in a way that they don't see that you deserve to enjoy. And they know this, and it's causing them this deep madness that they need to work out for themselves. Let me tell you something, collective. If you are experiencing a friend or a family member that is unnecessarily aggressive to you or showing microaggressions to you, and you're not understanding why, it is because they don't believe truly deep down that you deserve to be happy, and they want you to be miserable. They want you to be miserable just like them. And that knowledge that they have of themselves, check it. Tap in, collective. The knowledge that they have about that for themselves drives them crazy. They cannot stand that. And you know what? It's crazy because this word vicious is like, it carries a manipulative, deceitful, malicious behavior that causes them to cause harm towards the collective. Tap in. So I need you to really tap in and pay attention and focus on the people in your life that are showing up in a way that makes you uneasy or makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and recognizing that passive aggressiveness, or even for some of you, that aggressive aggressiveness is not them having a bad day, is not them PMSing, is not them not getting paid the amount of money, whatever excuse they're coming up with. No, collective, it is the fact that they cannot find comfort in your comfort. Tap in. And that's deep. That's deep. That is something within them that they need to address. That ain't got nothing to do with you, collective. So yeah, this knowledge is driving them insane. That is it. Look, Five of Pentacles showing up. Is there anything behind the Five of Pentacles? No. So the Five of Pentacles showing up, yeah, they feel like, wow. This actually makes them feel more alone than normal. And the thing is, they're living like this double life because they want to show you that they are loyal. They want to share with you. They want to listen to you. They want to be vulnerable with you. But they are scared to do that because at the end of it all, they're going to have to address themselves. Tap in, collective. And I feel like the more I'm channeling this message, the more I'm recognizing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is truly that you cannot fight other people's battles, and that it's not you, it is them having to deal with their inner turmoil. Tap in. And this keeps coming up in preparation season, collective, that you trigger as you heal, as you go further into your relationship with God, as you go deeper into your prayers, as things start opening up for you, you trigger people, you trigger that inner turmoil in people without them even knowing that lives inside of them. It is your light that activates the dark in them. And instead of them dealing with what they need to deal with inside, internally, they turn on you, the person giving that light. And it's really their way of pushing you away so that they don't have to deal with it. They just don't know how to verbalize. They don't know how to come to terms with the fact that they are in a messed up position. This word vicious that keeps popping up is like, it's almost like I don't even, y'all, it's not that I don't want to say it, but we want to go there, collective. Tap in. When you see this aggressiveness towards you, when you see this deceitful and malicious behavior towards you, collective, it's almost like they get satisfaction or enjoyment when witnessing you suffer or being in distress. And that is so wild to me. How could you be infatuated with somebody not being the best version of themselves, collective? And that's really, like, when we talk about what's happening within the confines of spiritual warfare, I know sometimes it's easy to think that spiritual warfare is one event. Like, no, you're dealing with people that you love. You're dealing with people that you don't know. You're dealing with situations at work. You're dealing with people who are associates of yours. This is just the people, right? You're dealing with friends of a friend of a friend. You're dealing with 5, 7, 10 degrees of separation with people sending negativity your way. And one of the ways that they do that is when they are being infiltrated by not just other people, but also the spiritual elements of hate and distrust, and sowing seeds of ignorance and self-loathing within themselves, and they try to pass it on to you, collective. Tap in. Ooh, wee. Now that is a word, collective. Look, 10 of torches. Yeah, this is something. And you know what's crazy? It's almost like, not even almost, it's that they want you to feel bad that they are not healing. Isn't that wild? For them to want you to feel bad that they're not healing, that their journey is not your journey. And it's just not. You can empathize with the situation. Look, corruption at the bottom. You can empathize with a situation with the 7 of torches throwing up blockages and corruption. Like, they want to keep you gated in to this force field of energy that keeps your vibration low as well, collective. And seeing this with the 10 of torches, it further confirms that this suffering that they are going through is not something that you can cure. Like, you can't cure this in them. This is something they have to come to terms with themselves. And if they don't want to do that by doing the work, okay, tap in like you did the work, collective. If they don't want to do that, then this might be a relationship you need to actually cut off, okay? Whoa, that's a big deal, collective. That is a huge deal. And I want you to really take in and think about the mindset that these people go through, the back and forth that they go through with their own inner monologue, that they know that their feelings are not justified. They know that their behaviors are not justified, yet they're acting out like petulant children. Tap in. They're acting out like scorned lovers. Tap in. They're acting out like they ain't got no home training. They acting out like they don't know God. Tap in. Because see, the collective, when they have an internal issue, they take it to God for healing. They take it to a therapist for healing. They take it to journaling for healing. They take it to mindfulness for healing. They take different routes in order to heal themselves. But see, these people, no, this person, this close enemy, and it is an enemy, even though you consider them a friend. This close enemy, see, they don't want to do that. They don't have a desire. It's easier to be angry. One of the things that I learned as a hospice social worker is that anger is the easiest to express when you are hurt. Tap in. And I feel like these people are hurt and they don't know how to express themselves outside of being angry. Again, not your issue, collective. And the more we're going deeper into this channel, intuitive message, collective, I'm finding that they high key want you to be responsible for their lack of healing. And let me tell you, collective, no, absolutely not. I want you to really tap in with this conversation. Now, this card wanted to jump out, so let's see what's going on with that. Yeah, Four Swords. Four Swords in between mindness and knowledge. Yeah, these people are really, when I say they are awake, it's causing them anxiety. So instead of looking inside, instead of closing this moment or this opportunity or this energy shut, instead of closing that, they are reaching out from the depths of their own built hell in order for you to take care of their madness, even though they know that the cause of this, the cause of their anxiety, the cause of their deep thoughts is them. It's really them. How dare you? And then seeing the Four of Swords as well, while channeling this violent and destructive, need to be cruel. Whew. This feeling of violence and destructive need to be cruel. That's Four Swords energy right there. They don't know what it's like to be calm. They don't know what it's like to forgive. They don't know what it's like to show gratitude towards themselves. They want to know, how could you be so loving towards yourself? How could you be so forgiving towards yourself? How could you be so forgiving to other people? They don't know what that is like, collective. Tap in. And I need you to understand how insidious that is to your soul, to your spirit, to your mindset, to your physical movement, to not know what it's like to forgive yourself. Collective, I'm not saying you woke up yesterday and was like, yeah, I forgive everything that I've done, everything that I've done. No, it's a process. But these people are so hell-bent on seeing you not succeed or keeping you in a confined, gated, hell-set environment that they don't even care. They don't even care to really get down to the brass tacks. Tap in. And that's a shame for them. That's a shame for them. And you can have compassion for that situation. You can have empathy or even sympathy for that situation, but you don't have to accept it. Tap in. Now we got the King of Wands here. Behind the King of Wands is justice. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is something that burns in their soul, burns in their spirit. But they know that justice is hidden. They're not even looking at it. For themselves, collective, for themselves. Now we're going to get to you in a second. But for themselves, collective. So between knowledge and the Five of Pentacles, where they want to be vulnerable, they want to be loyal, they want to listen, they want to share, but in between that knowledge and them feeling scared to do that, they have what's known as audacity. The audacity to try to throw your pain in your face. The audacity to get quick at the lip about how you show up in the world. The audacity to try to dictate who you hang around. The audacity of them to even talk out of the side of their neck like they ain't dealing with their own demons. Tap in. And that's why justice was hidden right in front of the King of Wands. They think they can overstep that boundary. They think they can overstep that energy. And this justice peeking out, knowing that justice is even. Okay, and that they going to have to, they can't cheat their way out of this. Between the Ten of Torches and the Five of Pentacles, between that suffering, they can't cheat their way out of this. That's why they don't want justice to see. That's why they don't want that energy to be revealed. Because once that energy is called out, and this is something deep within them, tap in. Once you're able to clock that T, they don't want to have. The justice is them in the mirror. That's truly the real justice. They don't want to see that, collective. That totally scares them, Crown Collective. Think of that psychology. Think about what that does. Think about what that is, collective. Let's see. Look, sadness. The number 66, excuse me. Sadness came out between the Four of Swords and the King of Wands. Woo-wee, let's talk about it, collective. So not only are they angry, but they are sad. And sadness is a common emotion when you lost something. This is when they lost themselves. They missed out. They feel like they missed out on the part of their journey that would allow them to have clear healing. Let me tell you something, collective. If they feel like they lost out on their healing journey, that is not on you. That is them watching you do the work. But for some reason, they feel like, oh, girl, let's put on the spiritual warfare glasses. For some reason, they actually feel like you are an overnight success, not even knowing that your overnight success took years. Your overnight success been 20 years in the making. Like what? What are you talking about? It is so wild to recognize how people see your journey, and they display a disdain for how you've elevated yourself in what they would consider a short amount of time. That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. And to see the intensity of this sadness morph into anger towards you is wild. So when I said that the easiest emotion to display is anger, it's usually covering up something else, which is sadness, which is disappointment, which is glumness, which is hurt and grief and woe. Tap in. That is what they feeling, collective. So one of the symptoms of being sad is frowning. They just around here, I can't frown, y'all. My face too happy. They out here just frowning, just upside down smiles all the time. They always feeling heavy or tired or feeling empty. Like this, let me tell you something, collective. When you trigger somebody's unhealed heart, soul, mind, as you elevate, as you go beyond what they saw for you, you're going to start seeing the gamut of emotions appear. Tap in. I wouldn't be surprised if this person starts to withdraw from you, if their actions push you away in a violent way. And by violent, I mean they're starting to yell at you. They're starting to take a tone with you that is unbecoming. You know, a lot of times you hear this energy come through with trying to speak to you like you're a child. Tap in. I've seen that a lot, collective, come through the dark energy that is riled up in people who you're supposed to be close with, but they see you elevate and they start talking to you like a child. It's almost like they want to take you down into a child's place so that they can walk all over you, where they think that you don't have the ability to take up for yourself, to speak back to them. So they'll start talking to you straight disrespectful. Tap in, which is interesting because if they speak to you like a child and their way of speaking to a child is disrespectful, that means that they aim to stomp all over the innocence of that child or the innocence of that person. Tap in. That's the real gag right there. But they will put you in a childlike bubble to try to make it seem like you not on a level, even though you're not saying there's any level whatsoever. So if you are observing this, if you are seeing this, it's time to allow yourself some space. Okay, the number 66 is important. Self-soothing came out. Yes, the number 32, and mindfulness of others. This is their instruction. And I also see pushing away coming out as well. And this is interesting because it talks about distress tolerance. Deny or block your distress temporarily. So collective, their instructions from the Most High is that in order to deal with yourself, you need to be able to separate how you treat other people, including the collective. Deny or block your distress temporarily. So that means get a hold of yourself. When life is overwhelmingly painful, the most effective coping strategy can be to ignore or push away the situation. And when they are dealing with you, that's what they need to do. I don't care if they got a split personality with this. What they don't need to be doing, collective, is coming at you. They need to find ways to self-soothe and be mindful of other people. The number 117, the number 32. I'm seeing the number 9 as well, seeing the number 5. The number 29 is coming out as well, collective. Like, yeah, that justice card is getting them all the way together. The justice card is letting them know, like, yo, whatever you feeling towards this person, you need to get away from that. You need to block that. You need to get your life together, because this is just not right. This is not okay, and you need to get right with God is really what's happening. Tap in. Woo-wee. So emotional regulation and distress tolerance. That is what's going on with them, collective. So now that we got the overarching theme of what's happening within your world, what's happening with this enemy, let's talk about you. The words that came up in this channel message is being glad and being sentimental. And you are feeling pleased, you are feeling happy, you are feeling gratified. And my hope for the collective is that even if you're not feeling that in the moment, it is something that you can speak life into yourself through your morning affirmations or your evening affirmations. Tap in. When you need to take a breath for yourself, you can say, I am feeling pleased in this moment, even though there are situations that might make me unhappy. Like, I am gratified because God has given me this opportunity to make choices that allow me to move forward in a way that is pleasing to me and to God. Tap in. So if you are feeling a sense of happiness or contentment, that is a part of you being glad, collective, and that is my hope for you. I'm also asking the collective, listen, I know that you might hear this a lot, collective, but smiling is incredibly helpful for you in this moment. Smile to yourself if you don't want to smile out in public. Go into the bathroom, take a moment to take down the visor in your car and just smile at yourself and say, I am happy, I am content, or I will be happy and I will be content. Tap in, collective. Yeah, this is when I said earlier, like, the enemy is mad that you trust yourself. Tap in, because the enemy always wants to sow doubt within you, collective. And not only are they upset that you trust yourself, but they are also upset that you are able to create space for those moments where you might have a bit of negative self-talk. We speak about all the time on this channel, collective, about how it's okay to have moments of negative talk, of self-doubt, but how we can circumvent that and speak love and life into ourselves, because essentially you are the CEO of your spiritual life. And we need to make it clear that when you have a deep relationship with God, can't nobody instill in you anything that you can't speak out of you. Tap in. So I'm really feeling that, collective. Sentimental also came up, and this is like a general thought or feeling or sense of something that is pleasant, especially from the past. So collective, I'm feeling like perhaps you had a moment where you went back in your memories and you found something that made you smile, made you happy, made you say, you know what, that was a good time in my life. Even if you don't want to go back to that person or that environment, you can recognize, like, yo, that was a really good time in my life. And I love that for you, collective. So if you're reminiscing about a time that was really good to you, I talk about being, I talk about reminiscing and how that can get you caught up in negative situations. But collective, I feel like this time when you're reminiscing on your memories and you're experiencing times of flashbacks, this is with a sense of warmth. And I want us to train ourselves to think on those times as well, collective, where we're like, you know what, things were good for me. I did feel good. I do feel good. Because once we start to recognize that that is a part of our journey, we are able to rewire our brains with things that are positive instead of negative. The other thing that I'm channeling from this, collective, is that people are going to start asking you more questions. People want to know, how did you get to the point of you? I'm looking at the world right now. Yeah, so coming back around, people want to know, how did you get to the point of being you right now? So if people start asking you more questions and people want to know, like, what it is that you're doing different, what is it that's making you happy? I see the Three of Wands and the Page of Swords. Yeah, it's the mindset shift. It's recognizing that there is more to life than to harp on the negative, even when negativity is at your front door. Rewiring your mindset to accept more good, or to speak more good into you than to accept the negative or speak negative into yourself, is a total mindset shift that changes the matrix around you. Tap in. There are studies, it's literally called the placebo effect, but there are studies where you make your mind believe that your body is healing, that the world around you is healing. And this is a part of that. Mindfulness taps into that placebo effect to where you actually start healing with nothing but your mind. Tap in. And maybe some sugar and some water every now and again. Okay, tap in. So I'm totally feeling that for the collective. This is a mindset shift. This is really energy that needs to be harnessed for you, collective. This is where those affirmations step in. This is where, even in your difficult times, collective, you might have to sit back, take a deep breath, and be like, okay, yes, this is hard. However, I got the magic touch, and there is nothing that I cannot do to rectify this problem. If not today, then tomorrow. Not tomorrow, then this week, or however you have to speak yourself through it. Because what that actually does, collective, I need you to tap in. What that actually does, oh baby, is that opens up not just the neural pathways, but it opens up the pathways to the collective energy and universe and cosmos to create the true path for you to find those solutions. Okay, now I need you to tap in to that. Anything else that this energy would like to tell us when it comes to you, collective? I love that this is glad, this is sentimental. Like, collective, I want you to answer this question in the chat. Are you grateful for the things and people in your life, even when the people are being exposed? Okay, look, Ace of Swords coming up with the Two of Cups. Absolutely. Absolutely. When I say mindset shift, I'm talking about, I mean it. And for me to ask, are you grateful for the things and people in your life? One of the things you can be grateful for is being able to speak to yourself in a way that positively affects the change around you and effectively switches that spiritual binary code of the matrix. Tap in. Ooh, collective, I love this. I love this a lot. I feel like, collective, with this Two of Cups as well, I'm looking at temperance and the Six of Wands. This is a time, not a celebration. I mean, you can celebrate, but this is a time of amazing reflection of what got you here. So I feel like, collective, you might be watching some movies or listening to some music. I think that you might be finding stories or stories are finding you that move you, where you feel emotionally moved to connect with them, not in a bad way, in a good way, or you can recognize somebody's story along the way. I love this. And you know, collective, just like for the enemy over here that wants to pour their self-loathing onto you, collective, I find that you are making more of an effort, or if you're not making more of an effort, let this sit in your brain, that finding an opportunity to make how do I word this, to make a true effort at rerouting your mindset is a win. So even if you are hurt that this situation has a line drawn down the middle, with the Six of Wands, you're making an effort to find that balance and say, it was meant for me to find out, or know, or recognize that this person is not truly happy for me. And maybe they'll find their own happiness one day. And I will be happy for them when they do. Until then, they best not come over here and try to ruin what I got going on that took me forever in a day to curate. Tap in. Seeing Ace of Pentacles at the bottom. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also the Ace of Cups. What's falling out? The Two of Swords. Yeah, big decision with the Page of Pentacles behind it. So yeah, the big decision is whether or not you are going to take in, okay, ooh, this is channeled to me, collective. Tap in. Your hero complex is about to come out. And I'm going to tell you right now, collective, no. Not just no, but hell no. You will not jump into hero save a person mode to try to get this person who you love, who you showed up for before. You will not jump in and try to get them to change their mindset, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to pour more into them than they will ever pour back into you, and it's going to breed resentment. That is an absolute no. That's a decision that you have to make, collective. Now you can if you want to, but the fact of the matter is that you don't want, I mean, you have a desire to help people heal, but not this person. Why? Because what they got going on, they're not going to admit to you. Tap in. They're not going to admit to you that you are the reason why they are so angry. Tap in. That the light in you truly triggers the unhealed darkness within them. And instead of them dealing with that, they're going to take it out on you, collective. They don't want to admit that. And they're never going to admit that. Which is why it is imperative that your hero complex, where you want to save everybody, gets shut down. This is where you need to start rewiring your brain as well, and go against your intuition if you want to. You're going to find yourself in even more trouble. I see the Queen of Pentacles. I need to stand on business, collective. I need to stand on business. Woo-wee. Let me see what else is going on as we bridge this gap, collective. Because as we bridge this gap and finding out what else we can do here, or what else needs to be said, what is even hidden between these two right now. Because again, I want to remind you, collective, that this is somebody that you know. Yup, look, it's saying distant, and it's saying store, treasure. Wow, to store treasure. So collective, I need you to recognize that you need to store your healing abilities and your savior complex, okay? Where you want to save people from themselves and you want to heal them instead of them healing themselves, collective. I know you've been there 1,000 times, but collective, didn't I say that reminiscing is going to be beneficial for you? Because there's nothing wrong with finding those warm moments and warm spots. But I also want you to remember those times where you showed up for people, when you stepped in to save them and help them save themselves. That girl, you every time you told yourself to stop, every time you said, all right, girl, all right, homie, you ain't going to do this no more, and you did it anyway, what happened? You ended up paying for it. You ended up spiritually paying for it. Okay, you paid that tuition, you paid that cost, whether emotionally, financially. I thought for a lot of y'all, it was financially. Looking at this Page of Pentacles, as a matter of fact, it was financial. And for some reason, I'm getting that somebody got kicked out of their house over somebody, trying to save somebody, trying to help somebody. Tap in, collective. Tap in. These are the choices that are going to dictate how you show up. Ooh, wee. Yeah, collective. This is very clear. This is very clear that this person whom you love, whom you supported, needs to find the knowledge within themselves, find the path within themselves, and go that route. You're going to end up cutting this person completely off. Tap in. You're going to end up cutting this person completely off, collective. And let me tell you something, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all, collective. You got to do something. You got to do something. You cannot always show up for people or be an ear for people when they don't want to be an ear for themselves. Okay, tap in. When they don't want to do any movement for themselves, they want to stay stagnant. They're hoping for a miracle. They're hoping for somebody or something to come in and fix everything. Let me tell you something. If they won the lottery today, if $1 billion dropped into their lap today, if they got everything they ever wanted in the physical world today, they would still be unhappy, because what has been sown within their spirit, what has been sown into them, maybe through no fault of their own, or maybe they have to deal with the karmic energy that's coming back to them. They have not dealt with that. That is still brewing within them. Tap in. So they can have $1 million, billion, and then what? So you got a fancy car, but your soul's still sour. Tap in. I'm telling you, obscure, shrouded in or hidden by darkness. Yeah. So they hoping for a miracle that somebody will come in and not prep them, but obscure the truth about what's happening with them to make themselves feel better. And that's usually you, collective. Oh no, it's not that bad. Oh no, you ever get next to somebody who is fishing for compliments all the time? Trying to take your essence. You ever been near somebody who can't help but to want to steal your energy around you just to make themselves feel better. Yeah, that's a threshold. That's liminal. That's a problem. And I feel like that obscureness, that's all, to look for a miracle. Not that you were handing out miracles, but what you were doing was allowing them to take a moment to say, okay, all right, it ain't me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is you. Not you, collective, them. Sorry. It is them, collective. It is them. But because they are refusing to recognize that you are the light that aggravates their darkness, oh, baby, they're going to live with that forever unless they deal with it. Ooh, we seeing beauty at the bottom and love. They don't even see themselves as beautiful. They don't even love themselves, which is wild. Looking at charm, looking at honor. Ooh, and right out of honor came riot. Oh my gosh, collective. Right behind honor was riot. So yeah, I'm telling you, when they feel like this fire is bursting within them, and they feel like they want to, like, everything burns them up about you, about how you move, about what you say, it's because you hold yourself to a high level of integrity, because other people see you as someone that has integrity, or you have esteem within a public view. Tap in, because you are a focus, because there is an expansion. Tap in, collective. They don't love themselves. They don't find themselves beautiful. But when you show up, they find you beautiful. They love you. But the riot that they feel is because you are an honorable person. That's why. And the focus is on your expansion. Your focus is on your expansion. The universe's focus is on expansion. And the impact that I'm seeing right here, the quick impact that I'm seeing right here, along with beauty, that impact is felt clearly because it's felt by them, collective. Ooh, my goodness. Let's take it more on an everyday, and then we're going to close out with this message, collective. What can the collective experience or think or see or feel as they navigate this relationship that is being broken apart by the enemy, by their friends, by this energy that has taken a hold of their friends or family or coworker, where they don't love themselves enough to recognize when they are being triggered by their own darkness? Tap in. I'm seeing momentum show up, and I'm seeing accomplishment. Yeah. Collective, this ain't your fight, is really what is being said here. This ain't your fight. And that this person, I really feel like, even with this accomplishment and momentum, I don't feel like those cards coming out, I feel like the collective is always in a I can't really call this language or call this how this shows up, but I know the collective won't know what I'm talking about. It's almost like when they talk about your accomplishments and where you're going, it's almost like coming from, they say it like with a attitude, like with a stench on it, right? Tap in. Like, oh wow, is that what you're doing? Oh, that's great. Good for you. Yeah, it's the realization of your accomplishments. They feel left behind. They feel left behind in the emotional saga that is their lives. Tap in. And they always thought that you were going to be around to fight for them. I'm seeing riot and honor, and look, Leo came out. Yeah, that is their problem. Their problem, look, and the diction is right behind it. Their problem is that they truly want to fight for themselves to get what you got. But what that means is that they want to ride your journey. They want to ride your pathway, and it's not meant for them. Tap in. Ooh-wee. There was a fixation. I said infatuated. I say a vicious infatuation at the beginning. There is an addiction, an obsession, a fixation, a preoccupation with your wins instead of their own. Not knowing that in order to get to all your wins, you had to go through multiple losses. And look, nostalgia came up. Yup. Reminisce. This is big Taurus energy, the number 41, the number 4. I'm also seeing, I'm seeing Aries. Which is one to fall out here? I'm seeing Aries. Yeah. I'm loving this. I'm loving this a lot. Look, camouflage. I'm telling you. Yeah, you're gonna pull away from this person. You're going to pull away from this person. I also saw a time traveler. You're moving away again. Yeah, and secret admirer. I'm telling you, collective. I'm telling you, number 3, the number 1, the number 10. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this secret admirer. I'm telling you, they secretly admire how much you are winning. And because they have not dealt with the root of their emotional concerns and issues, they are lashing out at you. And once you remove yourself from this situation, it ain't no love lost, but you ain't got to give them your energy. Once you remove yourself from that situation, collective, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel like that's going to open up more doors for you. With secret admirer, I see distance, I see rejection. They're going to feel rejected. That's again, not your issue. That's just not my problem. It's not your problem, collective. Take it. Take it how it resonates, for real. Big Virgo energy coming through. Yeah, because you were reliable. You were precise. You were practical. The number 105 is important here. The number 4, number 5. I'm seeing number 6. Whoa. A lot of yeses on the board for yourself. A lot of no's for them, collective. Yeah. So if you've been feeling that tension lately, collective, that's exactly what it is. Now let me close out this message before I go, collective. This separation that's going to happen, it was inevitable. And a lot of the times, what the collective finds themselves doing is making excuses for people and their behaviors, saying like, oh, well, they didn't have somebody to show them the way, or they didn't have this growing up, or nobody ever showed them love. Whitney Houston said it best: the greatest love of all is the love of self. Tap in. And while not everybody grew up the same with those same type of benefits of showing themselves love, it is a learned behavior. And if your friend or family member cannot see that loving yourself requires a high level of emotional labor from themselves, then they cannot rely on you to fill that gap. That's not something that you can do. It's not something that you can provide. Plus, been there, done that, right? Tap in. I am happy that you are finding a mindset shift on how you deal with the complexities of your life and recognizing that you can reprogram your matrix. I love that for you, collective. And I know it's a long time coming. But that will not be disrupted or interrupted by someone that has a vicious infatuation with the outcome of your healing journey. They're not infatuated with the healing part. They're not infatuated with the tears, and they're not infatuated with your fears and your self-doubt. No, they are infatuated with the outcome. They're not infatuated with the setbacks. See, because you haven't shown everything, which the collective never does, they believe that this is easy. It was easy for you. That's what they infatuated with. And once they realize that you truly, truly love yourself and trust yourself, and that nothing that they can do to try to reel you back into being a Debbie Downer, to being a Nancy, tap in, okay? My day ones, my OGs know that term. Into being a Nancy, once they recognize, oh, speaking of which, right there, Once they recognize that they can't reel you back in by being a Nancy, the sadness takes over the anger. It's so easy to show you how angry they were. But now the sadness takes over. And instead of investigating their sadness, they want to again come back and try to treat you like a child. Try to diminish your accomplishments, your journey. Try to walk all over you, which is destructive and a form of emotional violence towards you. Tap in. And it's a way to be cruel to you. You are nobody's punching bag. You are nobody's walkway. And what they try to do, what this person will try to do, is circumvent every self-awareness checkpoint in order to come back to the person who did the work. That's you, collective. And to that I say, if you don't get your ass up out of here and go see a therapist, go see a doctor, go to your local church, pray, meditate, go for a walk, do some jumping jacks, okay? Whatever it is you got to do to reflect in self and to bring that up out of you so you could deal with it, that's what you do. But the collective is an absolute no. The collective is out here doing their best to enjoy their lives. Tap in. And even when they in the midst of the boom, even when they in the midst of that, they still find a way to find that 1 second of peace, that 5 seconds, that 5 minutes of saying, all right, whew, I can do this. The collective is rewiring their matrix, reprogramming their matrix in real time. And it is not their job to fix your programming. It is the enemy's job to do that for themselves. A part of spiritual warfare is having the enemy tricking you into taking on their deepest issues. That's spiritual bypassing. And when you take it on yourself, it turns into spiritual warfare because you fighting demons that you ain't even know you signed up to fight. Tap in. And to that we say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Because it ain't going to be over here. Okay? Tap in. Who collective? Stay woke. Tap in. Stay woke. Because see, the demons be creeping. And they can find you and catch you sleeping. But not today, because you know what's about to go down. My name is Cass Young. I'm an intuitive speaker and spiritual motivator. And I love you, collective. Tap in. I love you. And if you found this message inspiring, knowledgeable, if you found that it helped any part of your journey, don't forget to like, comment, and share. We are still a growing community here. And I want you guys to be the CEOs of your own spiritual journey. Always keep your eyes open and your crown on.